Welcome everyone to our presentation on the 32nd Street Northeast from Rosewood Court to Madison Street pavement reconstruction project that will happen this spring and summer of 2021.
Hi, this is Greg Sugar with Stanley Consultants, project engineer.
Hi, this is Jennifer Selby with the City of Cedar Rapids Public Works Department. I'm the project manager for the city.
Hello, Doug Wilson, Paving for Progress Program Manager with the City of Cedar Rapids. We're going to do a short overview video today. Going to talk about the Paving for Progress program and what that is. Going to provide project details and a timeline for the project, and then finally how to contact us. So Paving for Progress is our 1 cent local option sales tax, voter approved in 2013. 1 cent of the sales tax goes every year to Paving for Progress, which is for the maintenance, reconstruction, and repairs of streets throughout the city of Cedar Rapids. We get about $18.5 million annually compared to the $5.5 million we had prior to Paving for Progress. And in the 7 years of the program, we've invested $116 million into our streets versus $55 million over the previous 10 years. One thing that's great about this program is we get to pay as we go now because this revenue comes in as people pay their sales tax. Whereas in the past, we sold bonds and incurred debt to fix our streets. So this has also allowed us to do more permanent repairs, reduce the burdens on maintenance, and allow our streets to improve in condition overall versus the temporary fixes and yearly pothole filling that we had to do, which has greatly decreased over the last 7 years. So the 7-year impact of the program, as I said, we've invested $116 million, done 209 projects throughout the city, improved 65 miles of road, and we've done a lot of work on residential streets versus our heavier traveled streets because in the 10 years prior to having Paving for Progress, the way the funding was set up, we had to focus our funds on those heavier traveled streets, but now we're able to invest in neighborhoods and residential areas more that have long been neglected. So a little bit of project history. In 2019, the Iowa Department of Transportation began planning for a bridge deck overlay for the 32nd Street Bridge over Interstate 380. In early 2019, we requested a schedule from the Iowa Department of Transportation for their project for a 2021 construction and combine it with city street improvements on each end of the bridge. In mid-2019, the city and the DOT finalized coordination on the project, and in December of last year, we bid the project. Right now, on the life of a project, we're between bidding the project and construction. And that's why we're here today, to let you know about how the construction will affect you throughout the spring, summer, and fall. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Greg, and he's going to talk about the details of the project.
All right, thanks, Doug. This is Greg. I'm going to walk you through the project limits and timeline and a little bit more of the details of this particular project on 32nd Street. So as you can see in yellow is the general project limits, and they stretch from just west of Rosewood Court to just east of Madison Street. Madison Street is the frontage road along northbound I-380. Those are the construction limits. That's where traffic will be unable to venture through that area. However, the actual closure limits will be just a little bit different, and we'll go through those details in just a minute. Here's a brief summary of the improvements that will be made on this particular project. The project involves a bridge deck rehabilitation. It also includes pavement reconstruction at both ends of the bridge. It includes traffic signal improvements, sidewalk, and storm sewer improvements. There are a few aesthetic improvements that we'll show you in a slide in a minute. So right now, this is the existing bridge that as part of the project, as I mentioned, is a bridge deck overlay. So the DOT will be is in charge of that part of the project. And on the bridge, along the sidewalk, there's an existing gray chain link fence, and we'll be removing and replacing that with a little bit nicer fencing that you can see this rendering here, which is what it'll eventually look like. The timeline of the project, basically it'll begin in April of the spring. It'll continue through the summer and wrap up hopefully late summer, early fall. So about 4 months worth of construction time. First, the contractor will be working on the east end of the bridge, the 32nd Street side of the bridge. And then on the second half of the project during the summer months, they'll work on the west end of the bridge. So a little bit more about phase one. As I mentioned, there's 2 general phases of construction. So phase one is more focused on the east side of the project. It'll involve the bridge deck repair and also pavement reconstruction at the intersection of 32nd Street and Madison Street. So vehicular traffic will not be allowed in this construction zone. However, pedestrians will always have access through this zone. Temporary signage and fencing will be put up by the contractor to direct pedestrians through this safe zone. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about the phase one vehicular detour. The detour routes will be marked with signage along the intended route. Since the Madison Street frontage road will be closed, northbound traffic will use the I-380 ramp at 29th Street and then detour to Center Point Road. The detour will continue on Center Point Road and then west onto 42nd Street, and then the detour continues back onto southbound I-380. So a similar detour route using 42nd Street will be used by southbound traffic to get back over to the east side of the interstate to 32nd Street. Moving on to phase two of the project, as shown on this slide in red. This part of the project will focus more on the west half of the project, and the bridge deck repair will continue during this phase, but it'll also focus on reconstruction of the intersections at Rosewood Court, Redbud Road, and Jewel Drive. Vehicular traffic will again not be allowed through this area. However, with regard to Rosewood Court, local traffic will be allowed to go through the construction zone. That'll be marked for local residents so that they'll have always have access along this cul-de-sac to their homes. Just with along with phase one, phase two includes pedestrian access along the bridge. Again, that'll be signed for pedestrians and fencing so they can be safely directed through the work zone. As far as the vehicular detour for phase two, this will be in effect from approximately June 1st to August 15th while school is out for summer. As with phase one, phase two vehicular detours will be marked with signage along the intended route. Since the southbound I-380 ramp at Glass Road will be closed, southbound traffic that is bound for 32nd Street will use the ramp at H Avenue and then be directed back over to northbound I-380 and then finally to the northbound exit for 29th Street. For northbound traffic that is bound for Glass Road, traffic will be detoured to 42nd Street and then over to Winnig Road and then back to Glass Road.
Well, thank you, Greg, for that presentation. So how do you contact us if you have further questions now or during construction? Well, you can mail, phone, or email us or request a Zoom call. Please leave feedback online at www.cityofcedarrapids.com/virtualpublicworks. Of course, you can always email us at paidforprogress@cedar-rapids.org or contact our city project manager, Jennifer Selby, at 319-286-5622. And her email address is j.selby@cedar-rapids.org. Thank you all again for taking the time to watch the video. We hope this project goes smoothly this summer, and please contact us if you have any further questions or comments. Thanks again.